Hey, what's up? It's Amy with Amy Reads YA, and today we are going to talk about 7 of my most anticipated fall releases. I tried to pick some that were a little below the radar. Now, a couple are very, very hyped books. I'm sure anyone who's been around BookTube or Bookstagram or just the bookstore in general has heard the hype surrounding some of these books. But I wanted to give a couple of the smaller books that I haven't seen a whole lot of buzz about some recognition, because I am also very excited about them. Gotta get my hydrate on with my electrolyte. They are 2 for $4 at 7-Eleven. They taste amazing. They're like Gatorade, but better. Alright, that's my little plug for them. Without further ado, book number 1 that I am excited for, and these are in no specific order, by the way. Not in release date order, not in hype order, not in my excitement level, just random order, because you know how I like to print things out. I got some visuals. They're just the order they printed out. The first one is The Grim Lovelyz by Megan Shepherd. I love it. Like, I'm too dumb to figure out how to put the put the picture on the video, so I just print everything. So The Grim Lovelyz comes out, oh my goodness, that's like the one thing I didn't print on this page. I think it's like October 2nd. I think it's early October. I will definitely put the release date down below because I'm pretty sure I'm screwing it up. Anyway, The Grim Lovelyz by Megan Shepherd. 17-year-old Anouk envies the human world, where people known as pretties lavish themselves in fast cars, high fashion, and have the freedom to fall in love. But Anouk, I'm going to keep sounding confused when I say it, but Anouk can never have those things because she is not really human. Enchanted from an animal to human girl and forbidden to venture beyond her familiar Parisian prison, Anouk is a beastie, destined for a life surrounded by dust bunnies and cinders, serving Madavitorn, the evil witch who spelled her into existence. That is, until one day she finds her mistress murdered in a pool of blood, and Anouk is accused of the crime. Now, the world she's always dreamed of is rife with danger. Pursued through Paris by the underground magical society known as the Halt, Anouk and her fellow beasties have 3 days to find the real killer before the spell keeping them human fades away. If they fail, they will lose the only lives they've ever known, but if they succeed, they could be more powerful than anyone ever bargained for. So, that sounds good. It sounds like part trash that I'm gonna love, like the 100th Floor. Like, it sounds like part like trashy like that, like, oh, high society bullshit mixed with fantasy, and that's an interesting twist that I don't think we've gotten yet. So yeah, that is The Grim Lovelyz by Megan Shepherd. Like I said, I think it comes out October 2nd, but I will definitely put the release date down below because I'm a garbage human and I did not print that portion of my blurb out. Next up is a YA contemporary that's been making some buzz, and that is Jack of Hearts and Other Parts by L.C. Rosen. Guys, I am here for this. High school sex positivity. I feel like it's not something that's really breached even in YA contemporary. I mean, like, sex is there, but it's not a thing that is, like, celebrated. Let's not pretend that we're all so blind that we don't know that high schoolers have sex. That's what I'm really excited for with this. The synopsis sounds great. My first time getting it in the butt was kind of weird. I think it's going to be weird for everyone's first time, though. That's a solid hook line. Meet Jack Rothman. He's 17 and loves partying, makeup, and boys, sometimes all at the same time. His sex life makes him the hot topic for the high school gossip machine. But who cares? Like Jack always says, it could be worse. He doesn't actually expect that to come true. But after Jack starts writing an online sex advice column, the mysterious love letters he's been getting take a turn for the creepy. Jack's secret admirer knows everything. Where he's hanging out, who he's sleeping with, who his mom is dating. They claim to love Jack, but not his unashamedly queer lifestyle. They need him to curb his sexuality, or they'll force him. As the pressure mounts, Jack must unmask his stalker before the obsession becomes genuinely dangerous. And that comes out October 30th. And yeah, like, that just sounds good and relevant and also just delicious at the same time. So I'm really excited about that. That is Jack of Hearts and Other Parts by L.C. Rosen. Next up is one that I've seen get some hype, but it's been pretty low on the radar, and that is Saul Kill Girls by Claire Legrand. I couldn't find a bigger picture, so hey cowgirl. Couldn't find a bigger picture, so that's what we've got. This one comes out on October 2nd, and the synopsis is also great. Beware of the woods and the dark, dark deep. He'll follow you home, and he won't let you sleep. Who are the Saul Kill Girls? Marion, the new girl, awkward and plain, steady and dependable, weighed down by tragedy and hungry for love she's sure she'll never find. Zoe, the pariah, luckless and lonely, hurting but hiding it, aching with grief and dreaming of the vanished girls. Maybe she's broken, or maybe everyone else is. Val, the queen bee, gorgeous and privileged, ruthless and regal, words like silk and eyes like knives, a heart made of secrets and a mouth full of lies. Their stories come together on the island of Sawkill Rock, where gleaming horses graze in rolling pastures and cold waves crash against black cliffs, where kids whisper the legend of an insidious monster at parties and around campfires, where girls have been disappearing for decades, stolen away by ravenous evil that no one has dared to fight until now. It just, if the writing is anything like the synopsis, it's going to be beautiful. Like, that's beautiful. So, Buck has picked like his loudest toy to start to play with. So that is Saul Kill Girls by Claire Legrand. That comes out October 2nd. Y'all, I'm so excited for this one that I might actually pre-order it. I might actually pre-order all these, because why the hell not? It's so fun to pre-order books because you almost forget about it, and then you get home and you're like, I got a book! Yes! Yes! So, I might do that. Thanks, guys. We had this nice conversation. You guys convinced me to order books. I'm gonna do it. This is a good relationship. The next one has not been getting a lot of hype, and I'm not really sure why. This is Beneath the Citadel by Destiny Soria. And I have seen a couple of people talk about it, but it's really not making wave around the booktube community, so I'm gonna talk about it. This one comes out October 9th, and the synopsis goes: in the city of Eldra, people are ruled by ancient prophecies. For centuries, the High Council has stayed in power by virtue of prophecies of the Elder Seers. After the infallible prophecy came to pass, growing unrest led to murders and an eventual rebellion that raged for more than a decade. In the present day, Casa, the orphan daughter of rebels, is determined to fight back against the High Council, which governs Eldra from behind the walls of the Citadel. Her only allies are no-nonsense: Alice, easygoing Evander, and perpetually underestimated Newt. Newt is such an underestimated name, I feel like. Anyway. And Casa struggles to come to terms with the legacy of rebellion her dead parents have left her, and the fear that she may be inadequate to shoulder the burden. But by the time Casa and her friends uncover the mystery of the final infallible prophecy, it may be too late to save the city, or themselves. So I think that this is a standalone. I'm really here for standalone fantasies. I feel like they don't happen, and maybe that's because the world building in fantasy typically takes a couple of books to get out, but this sounds good. The cover is gorgeous, and yeah, it just sounds like a nice little kind of creepy fantasy to get into in October. The next book on my list has so much hype surrounding it, and from everything I've read, the hype is so incredibly real and accurate, and this book is living up to everything, and that is Sadie by Courtney Summers. If you've watched any videos on BookTube, you've probably come across Sadie. I have a couple of Courtney Summers books on my TBR. I have not read any yet. This will probably be my first, and once again, my dumbass did not print out the release date, so I have to put that below. I believe it's the first Tuesday in October, I think, but it'll all be down below, so it doesn't really matter. I'll stop thinking about it and just read the synopsis. Sadie hasn't had an easy life. Growing up on her own, she's been raising her sister Maddie in an isolated small town, trying her best to provide a normal life and keep their heads above water. But when Maddie is found dead, Sadie's entire world crumbles. After a somewhat botched police investigation, Sadie is determined to bring her sister's killer to justice and hits the road following a few meager clues to find him. When Wes McCrae, a radio personality working on a segment about small forgotten towns in America, overhears Sadie's story at a local gas station, he becomes obsessed with finding the missing girl. He starts his own podcast as he tracks Sadie's journey, trying to figure out what happened, hoping to find her before it's too late. I think what I'm so excited about is that this synopsis is not great. It doesn't really hook me, it doesn't make me want to read the book, but everybody who has read this book is raving about it. So, that being said, I'm just gonna take the synopsis with a grain of salt and just go, I haven't read one bad thing about this book so far, and I am going to read it and probably love it. So that is Sadie by Courtney Summers. The next one is one that I have not seen anybody talk about, and I don't know why, because it sounds so great. That is the little tiny paper, again. That is the Boneless Mercies by April Genevieve Tuholke? Also a dumbass, and don't have the date for this one, so that will be below, because I am really bad at this. The synopsis goes, a dark and gorgeously drawn standalone YA fantasy about a band of mercenary girls in search for female glory. Frey, Ovi, Juniper, and Runa are the Boneless Mercies, girls hired to kill quickly, quietly, and mercifully. But Frey is weary of the death trade, and having been raised on the heroic sagas of her people, dreams of a bigger life. When she hears of an unstoppable monster ravaging a nearby town, Frey decides this is the Mercies' one chance out. The fame and fortune of bringing down such a beast would ensure a new future for all Mercies. In fact, her actions may change the story arc of women everywhere. Full of fierce girls, bloodlust, tenuous alliances, and unapologetic quest for glory, this elegantly spun tale challenges the power of storytelling and who gets to be the storyteller. Perfect for fans of Maggie Stiefvater, I still don't know how to say her name, V.E. Schwab, and Heidi Helig. So that's the Boneless Mercies. Again, failing on when it comes out, however, and he's here. Find out when it comes out down below. And the last and final book that it's not the final, but the last and final book of this video that I am excited for in September or October releases is one that literally every YA reader under the sun is excited for. If you haven't figured it out, that is What If It's Us by Becky Albertalli, Baba, and Adam Silvera. Baba, what you doing? Hey, buddy. Thank you. If you have been living under a rock, this is the newest YA contemporary with two of the biggest YA contemporary authors. I feel like you can't see it, but I also feel like you should probably know what it looks like if you've watched a BookTube video. So, it is two contemporary powerhouse authors who have teamed up to bring us another story that may or may not be heartbreaking. So I was watching, I believe it was Emma Books, went to Epic Reads Day and posted a little bit of the footage of Becky and Adam discussing this book, and Adam said, well, I wrote the ending, so you're in for it now, basically. That is definitely a paraphrase, but it was something along the lines of, haha, sorry, you guys are screwed because I wrote the ending to this book. If you've read an Adam Silvera book, you know how they end, and it's usually in tears. So, I'm going to read the synopsis in case you guys have not heard of this. Arthur is only in New York for the summer, but if Broadway has taught him anything, it's that the universe can deliver a show-stopping romance when you least expect it. Ben thinks that the universe needs to mind its business. If the universe had his back, he wouldn't be on his way to the post office carrying a box of his ex-boyfriend's things. But when Arthur and Ben meet cute at the post office, what exactly does the universe have in store for them? Maybe nothing. After all, they do get separated. Maybe everything. After all, they get reunited. But what if they can't quite nail a first date, or a second date, or a third? What if Arthur tries too hard to make it work? What if Ben doesn't try hard enough? But what if life really isn't like a Broadway plot? What if life really isn't like a Broadway play? But what if it is? Hello, adorable, cute romances. The only thing I'm bummed about is that this comes out October 9th, and October is spooky month, and I don't want to read My lights fell. I don't want to read cutesy love stories in October. I want to read death and destruction and these creepy fantasies and thrillers that I've got down here. But that being said, I'm probably going to read this in October, because if I don't, I'm going to miss something because everyone else will have already read this book. So that is What If It's Us by Becky Albertalli and Adam Silvera. That comes out October 9th. That is all I've got. If you're really interested in what I want to read, check out my Goodreads down below, because it is excessive, overwhelming, and never ending. There's about 1,800 books on there. A lot come out this fall. A lot come out next in the winter time-ish. I'm excited for everything. And a ton already came out and I haven't gotten to them yet because too many books, not enough time. That is all from me today. I think I'm going to go be a trash person. I should be reading, but what I think I'm actually going to do is... I get the hiccups. I think what I'm actually going to do is lay on the couch and finally, I say finally, it's been out for like 2 days, finally dive into the Netflix movie of To All the Boys I've Loved Before. That's what I think I've got on my plate, and finish some of these 8 books that I've started reading. If you like the chaos that I bring to BookTube, give me a subscribe, like or dislike. It's rude to dislike, but I will accept it. All my social media is down below. That's all I got, guys. I will see you next time. Bye. Say bye, bye-bye. Say bye. Say bye.